Welcome back to the Moxie movement, where we're talking with real life mums who have real life businesses and they are aligning and integrating their lives seamlessly through both. And today I'm super excited to have Erika here with us today. Erika is a part of our Done by Three Club crew, and I am super excited to have her talk about the journey that she's been on so far and what's going to happen next.
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. Let's do a little bit of a quick fire so that people can get to know Erika, the gal behind the business, and we'll head into it from there. Where in the world are you based, Erika?
I'm based in Melbourne, Australia.
Okay, brilliant. And what's your business? What do you do? Who do you serve? How do you help them?
I'm an artist, so I do window drawings on shop fronts mainly, especially for seasonal occasions like Easter and Halloween and Christmas. And then I also run craft sessions as well. And I run art programs. I'm a bit of an artist and a teacher.
And why do you do this? What's the purpose, the mission under, obviously we have to earn a living, but what's the why behind what you do?
My why is really just to try and help people experience the joy of art and making stuff and creativity. And I really firmly believe that everyone can be creative. We've just forgotten somewhere along the way, or there's things that stop us from being creative or even wanting to try. But I want to help people push through that and help them to experience the joy of making things, because it's got so many benefits in our personal and work lives. It's not a secret that creativity is good for you, but for some reason we just have trouble getting into it. I want to help people be creative, and I want to just bring a little bit more joy into everybody's lives, because I think that's what we need.
I love that. I think we're born into the world being creative. You think about our little ones and their imaginations and all of those things, and you think, oh, and somewhere along we lost that. We don't need to, right?
Yes,
Life
and
can
just
be playful.
life's not that serious, and we don't have to be that serious all that time. Let's just have a little bit more fun.
I have to remind myself too with business sometimes. Every now and then it's like, it gets really serious. I'm like, I decided to do this because I enjoyed it and it was supposed to be fun, not like this miserable experience that I'm somehow making it be.
So stressed when I'm preparing for an art workshop or designing a window drawing, and I'm like, oh my God. And then I'm like, oh wait, this is meant to be fun and it's meant to be about joy. I just have to remind myself and take a step back, get out of my own
Yeah.
head a little bit.
Yeah. Love it. Bruce. All right. So outside of your business, where do you feel most like you?
It's a good question, because I think that my business is me. So it's a challenging question. Where I feel most me is where I'm playing and where I'm making something. I think I was just born to make things, whether that's like creative visual things or making music or just making games and making fun. I feel the most me when I'm creating something and expressing myself in that way.
These ones are quick fire. So you're just going to finish the sentence. I believe.
That everyone deserves to be loved.
I love.
Creating, drawing.
I hate.
You're going to like this one. Sales. Hate it.
I'm learning to love it. I'm learning to play through it though, right, Erika? I'm a huge fan of.
I just want to go back to playing, making, playing. Which fan playing?
Yeah, awesome. When I'm in the car alone, I'm listening to
Blink-182.
you, and you're younger than me.
Oh, it just takes me back to a good
Yeah,
time, a good place.
I think I saw somewhere that Sublime was doing a tour or a concert somewhere. I was like, oh my goodness, that throws me right back to my teenage years. That's crazy. What word or phrase sums up your life and business right now?
Optimism.
And what's your chaos level today from Zen Queen all the way through to Sarah, send help?
Oh, look, if we're talking Zen is a 0 or a 1, I'd say I'm probably at a 2.
Nice. Love it. Acknowledging that in one day we can go from send help to Zen Queen and back again all at once, right?
Yes, I'm
First,
wearing the book thing, so check back in with me at 3 p.m.
I'd love to talk a little bit about what were some of the shifts that took you to get from where you were when we first met to now. So what was the moment where you were like, I can't keep doing it like this. I need to make a change. I need some support. I need some help.
Hmm, I need some support. I remember being breastfeeding my second child, scrolling on my phone and coming across an ad for you, which is how I got onto a Facebook ad. And it was about a book, it was a short book that you'd written about the off switch. And I was like, oh my God, that's exactly what I need for my brain, because my brain is so busy and I love it so much. And it's also hard to be in my head sometimes. And I am full of optimism 70% of the time, I would say. And I'm full of ideas and beautiful, wonderful things and what I could do. And that is wonderful and also overwhelming too. When I first got into business, I could not slow my brain down. Going from working a job to running a business, and I just couldn't slow down and concentrate on one thing at a time. And yeah, it was just a bit of a wild time. And I knew that I wasn't getting anywhere fast because I just had too many ideas and none of the focus, maybe.
Yeah, just lacking the structure to take them from great idea to bringing me in some cash.
Yeah, making them a thing that is a business that makes me money. And the off switch sounded like what I wanted to do at that time. And it wasn't like a shocking or a sad revelation. It was just like, oh, an off switch sounds really good, actually.
And what was the other moment?
But yeah, it was when I got knocked back for a big job that I really wanted and was not counting on, but really would have helped. Um, and just I got knocked back and it really shook me. And that was just before we talked and started doing my strategy for the next year, where I then dropped 2 arms of my business instead of having a three businesses. I then went back to one. So it was like a oh shit moment, and it really hurt. I was crying and I was like, oh, I just want to go work a job. And I didn't really mean that, but it was just a moment of this sucks. This
Yeah.
really, how can I change so that this doesn't happen again, or so that it doesn't knock me around as much? Because that stuff is going to happen. Um, People are going to say no, but how can I structure it so that not my whole business or my whole life or my whole sense of self-worth is focused on this one person saying yes to my thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Because whether they say yes or no probably has, a little bit to do with the value that you're bringing and more than anything else, their perception of what's going on in their life and those sorts of things as well, right? So, yeah, absolutely. And in both of those moments, there's probably been a bit of a belief shift for you. What was the belief that you dropped to get from the breastfeeding, doing it all, million ideas, can't turn my brain off, and then the second shift, which was I've got these three businesses and I need to kill two of my babies, two of my darlings to actually make one of them work. What was the belief or the beliefs that you were like, oh, these are the things I actually have to let go of if I'm going to run these businesses successfully?
One of the big things is just doing the one thing and going all in on that one thing. And the reason why I've spread myself sometimes in so many directions is what if one doesn't work, then I've still got that other one. So it's a bit of fear about going in on the one thing. And then a really major shift this was less acute, but more over a longer period was it's just that I can do it and that I am capable of success. And that really has shifted some things for me. I have thought that success is not for me because of the way my brain works, because of me. Success is not for me, and I can't actually have that. And having a scattered brain, obviously, there's people who are successful who have ADHD, but for some reason, I thought well, that doesn't apply to me. And I'm a really extremely sensitive person as well. And I always thought that means that's going to be something that holds me back as opposed to something that I could work with. And I just started believing that it could be for me and that I could succeed. You have to believe that you can do it before you actually do it, I think, a lot of the times.
All of the time. Until you believe you can do it, you won't take that step because your brain's job is to keep you safe.
And just, yeah, so much fear of failing, of being seen to try and fail. Really scary. And I am super sensitive. And yeah, it was about slowly over time, oh, okay, maybe I could do this. And that really shifted a lot of things for me.
Yeah. I think that's true for so many of us is that we look and go, oh, well, it's me. It's the way I process information, or it's how sensitive I am, or it's insert the thing that we think about ourselves. That's the thing that's stopping me. And yet we can go out into the world and find evidence of people that identify in the same way as we do with those either, neurodiversity or sensitivity, and see just as many examples of people that have been incredibly successful, whether that be in a creative field or scientific or business, that have been phenomenally successful. And so what we sometimes perceive as our greatest weakness can also be our greatest strength on this journey as well.
Yeah, and seeing that success out in the world, I was always like, oh yeah, but that's them, that's not for me. Holding people is like separate from me, which is just so not true. But I'm like,
And, it,
oh, that success is not for me though.
and that's another way that belief keeps us safe. If I don't try and fail, then, you know, there's no danger in it. There is a paradox in that, and that the danger is that if you don't try and fail, then you'll be right where you were this time next year and the year after and the year after, for sure. What's the lie about success that you had to stop believing? Because success is one of those things where I think sometimes it's perceived, particularly in business, as a certain thing. It's a certain revenue number or a certain profit number or a certain look externally. And I guess that one was for me was that the look wasn't what I wanted or what I needed. What was it for you? What was the lie about success that you needed to stop believing?
That it doesn't happen quickly. I love this one. Small, consistent action towards the goal. And that even though you see from the outside, other people's success might look really fast and like it just popped up out of nowhere. It's actually that accumulation of all those things that they did in the last week, month, 10 years, 20 years, their whole life. It's not one moment. And it could be for some people, who get famous quickly. That's a very small percentage. And they popped up out of nowhere. It's just, they've been working away behind the scenes.
And I think that's it. I think that we do so much of the building privately without sharing, which is why I love doing these interviews with yourself and the members of the Moxie world, is women are all building behind the scenes and we're not necessarily doing that super publicly. And then you'll have a success and that success will be public and everyone's like, wow, they popped. And you're like, no, but look at all the effort and work I put into this for years behind the scenes that nobody, we're having this.
People really relates to the art world as well. Like people are like, oh, you're talented in this. I just draw a lot. They're like, oh, I wish I was talented. And I'm like, I'm not talented. I wasn't born like this. I've done a lot of Easter bunnies. That's why I can draw them so fast. I've drawn a lot in my life and I practice and I draw every single day almost. It feels like a bit of a cop out when people say lucky or you're talented. Also feels, oh yes, if you're talented, then you were born that way and then you're lucky. Yeah, when it's not, that's not true.
I think that one's really interesting, especially in the creative space, because it's often put down to talent. You're either talented as an artist or you're talented as a musician. And people say that to Scarlett and to us, oh, she's so talented. I'm like, that's not talent. That's hard work and practice. She sings daily, she practices daily. I can show you videos of when she's little and she was cute. She wasn't any good, but she really enjoyed it and she worked at it. And yeah, maybe she's got some resonance in her voice that lends itself to singing, and she liked playing with that as a small child, and so therefore it became something she worked on. And we've got videos of Scarlett when she was little, and I'm like, this is her when she was 3 and 5 and 7, and like, here's her first talent show. It's like everything is a practice. This business journey is a practice. You don't get good at it the first day you sign the paperwork on your company. I wish you were infused with all the goodness you needed. I love that. And I think the fact that you acknowledge that and you say that's something that you can get better at is, you know, really important from what you do in terms of sharing that creativity piece. Because I think we so often stop being creative because we're not good the first time.
We count ourselves out, and it's another lie I think that we tell ourselves to keep ourselves safe from looking silly and trying and failing. Because if I just say, oh, they're talented, then that's a very good excuse as to why I shouldn't even bother.
It's a great, because I don't have what they've got. Yeah, it's a great one. Gets you out of it. What system or habit or mindset shift do you think you would say helped you the most?
It's definitely scheduling my time. And I don't want to advertise for you, but the power hour. Yeah, so scheduling, because I used to just come into my office and sit down and be like, okay, what am I going to do today? And you'll know that's not a very good way to run a business, because it'll be based on what has come into my inbox and what's popped up and how I'm feeling at the moment, which is all not good ways to make decisions on what actions you should take in your business. Scheduling that ahead of time and asking, like, well, what's the most important thing and what do I need to make sure is in there, um, instead of what do I feel like doing on the day. It's the scheduling thing, scheduling it down to the hour, and also doing that for not just work but outside my work, and those other things are important. And I got rid of my to-do list because it's just scheduled in. For example, I have a 1 hour a week that I call life admin, where I return calls, personal calls, and book appointments and check in with school and daycare and all those things that you need to do there. Now I don't have a to-do list full of 1,000 things that I need to do, because I'm just regularly making time for them. Instead of putting something on the to-do list, I just schedule it in. And so it's not just a big list of a million things that I got to do. It's actually, okay, this is happening this week or next month. And of course, scheduling in date night. And I also do a self-care Friday, which is like an Erika date night, which is regular, and it's now my partner knows about that as well. On a Friday night, I'll just lock myself in our room and do whatever I want, um, under the guise of self-care. Really, whatever I'm feeling like that week. Now I know I'm regularly doing those things that make me feel good, and other people in my life, like Scott, know that's what's happening as well.
I laughed when people said you still have to date when you're married. I'm like, I'm freaking in love with him. I don't need to date him. And it is, I think, the single biggest thing for us that keeps our intimate relationship alive is that we still go out and just be Sarah and Johnny together without the businesses, without the child, and all the house, the what needs fixing and cleaning, and we can just have those dating conversations you used to have about the world and your interests and the things that amuse you. We forget to do that in day-to-day life so often in that relationship, because it gets so, he's always there, he's always going to be there, and you forget that takes time and effort.
Granted.
Yeah.
It's really about scheduling that time, making sure that it was showing up instead of just waiting for it to occur, which when you're busy, it just doesn't.
What's shifted? You've gone from being reactive to what was shouting loudest, what first most felt most urgent, and this big list of kind of open loops of here's everything that's sitting on your shoulder and you should do something with, to okay, when something comes up, I'm being proactive. I'm making time for it in the future and I'm telling my future self, here's what's going to happen. How does that feel now comparatively?
I feel much calmer and I feel much more aligned. It feels more like I'm building this business for me and what I want. Because if you're reactive, you're basically helping everybody else further their agenda. If you're answering your emails in your inbox, other people are just like they're trying to fob off things from their to-do list to you. And so when you're going in your inbox first or whatever it is, you're working for them or solving their problems. And so it started me along this line of, okay, what do I actually want in my business and what do I want it to look like? And what are the essential things that I need to help get there? Is it regular sales, regular delivery, and how can I put those in first? I feel like I'm doing things for me and what I want to do. And that's the main shift from being that reactive to being proactive is okay, what's my actual goal? What do I want first? And then everything else can come next.
And that one's a huge one. As women, we often want based on what everyone else needs from us, or we're just running away from a experience that we don't want, this busyness, this stress, this overwhelm, this not enoughness. And most women, and I think if we remember back, you were probably pretty similar, that you had a big old list of things that you don't want. And when I asked you what you did want, like not the absence of, what was the thing you wanted, it was really hard to define. And I think a big shift for you has been, I'm really clear on what I want, not just delivering for everyone else.
I had almost no idea what I wanted. And before you, I didn't even know that I could ask for what I wanted. Obviously, when I was younger, I did, but somewhere in the last 20, 25 years, I have lost that. And I was like, whoa, this feels super uncomfortable. And I also have no idea what I want. I didn't even know that I could ask. So I have to keep asking because the first time I have no idea. I honestly don't know. Nobody's ever asked me that before. So I just had to keep asking myself, and over time that has gotten a bit more clearer and a bit more comfortable. And it's not like you can just ask yourself and then the answers will come. I feel like for somebody who's the last 20 years hasn't been practicing that, it doesn't come just straight away.
And it evolves as our children get older, we get into a different season, as our relationships with the people that matter most to us evolve, and it evolves as the external environment evolves and the business, because our business and we exist in that, right? And so what we want has to shift and change with that. The other big challenge is when you're building your own thing, when you're building your own business, you can actually want anything at all. And that feels super exciting and terrifying all at once. How the hell do I choose, Erika?
Yeah.
Anything's possible.
And maybe that's why also I don't ask. It's because that is terrifying to me.
So,
It's so
but,
scary.
and now you do ask for what you want, and it's getting more focused as you go along, clearer.
Yeah, more focused and also just more comfortable. As you said, it changes, but I'm getting more comfortable with focusing on me first.
Yeah. And I think you don't have to have a pinpoint location right at the start either. You just have to have a general direction and start moving. And we always say sometimes that road appears once we get in motion and the detail around it gets more and more clear. There will also be kind of these stops along the way where there's a maintenance, a comfort stop almost, where you're like, I'm just going to solidify all the wanting that I've now created is now my reality, and can I solidify that so I can maintain that it's not a constant and ever ending, like just keep going all the time, because I think that can feel a little exhausting, like that you always have to want more and we don't ever get a chance to be comfortable with what we have right now.
That's so true. Yeah. And not having to rush off now that you know what you want of it, not having to rush off and go through and do all of the things to get it. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have
Right.
to get busy to get it, right? What's one thing you used to feel really guilty about doing that's now non-negotiable for you? You've talked about a couple, but which one's the one?
Yeah. When I was going through postpartum, it was like, you've got to fill up your cup. It's like everyone says. But I didn't understand what that actually meant. So I think more understanding of that, or a bit more acceptance of that, putting me first, and just not being afraid to ask for what I want and not feeling guilty for asking for what I want. So I will ask, and if you don't want to do that thing for me, then you can tell me, but I will ask. I would do the asking without already deciding that you wouldn't want to do that thing for me, and I won't feel guilty for asking. Getting more comfortable with just asking for the thing that I want and need.
Absolutely. And in the asking, we're not forcing anyone to do anything for us. As I always used to say to my daughter, you can ask for a chocolate ice cream every day after school when you get off the bus. But if you never ask, the answer is 100% always no. What do you think you've had to give up or outgrow to step into this version of Erika that sits in front of me today?
The version of me that does not love herself, and the version of me that does not believe in herself. The first thing that I did was trying to do everything all at once, trying to make it all happen overnight. It's just not possible, or it's not possible to do that and also have a family who loves you.
You've only got so much energy, so much capacity, and so much time in a day. At some point, you have to sleep and eat and have a shower. I think that you can ultimately have it all. You just can't do it all. And by having it all, that doesn't mean what society says Erika should have. It's what Erika's decided she wants. And that, I think, is the shift that when you talk about, and I think it is deep. I think that whole, I can't have everything all at once, I can't do it all at once, is the shift, because we went from being told that women could only want this very limited life to, women can do everything that men can do, but forgot to clarify that with you can do it all. And I think it's that ability to go, I choose this. I want these things, and therefore I choose to do these actions today that align with it. And I think that's where you're looking for a deeper answer, but that is the deep answer. You can't spread yourself so thin that nothing happens. You've got this little bit going into a gazillion things. There's just no momentum forward with anything.
Yes. And I think what I was trying to get at with the love myself thing was about valuing, I guess, my work and my time, and not giving that away for free. Valuing my time and not just jumping on a job or whatever it is because it's paid, or not bending over backwards to deliver on something and then not charging for that extra service. I think, yeah, really just valuing and like trusting. I think trusting in myself and trusting that things will come through, as in bookings will come through, and not being scared and just taking the first thing that comes through.
Taking those things that are aligned for Erika rather than just
whatever.
got a dollar figure attached. If we talk about what actually worked for you on this journey and what are the things that have helped you really shift gear, and you've had a couple, right? The first, like, maternity leave, I don't want to go back to work. How do I make this work? To, I think, the last 12 months, we've really seen a shift and take this seriously. I'm a business owner, I'm a businesswoman. This is what I'm doing. How did you decide what to tackle first? Were you looking for ease first? Were you looking for sales first? Or was it, sanity and brain space, that off switch for your head?
Hmm. I first came in looking for the brain space. Like, how can I run a business and not have my head explode? Because my brain runs a million miles a minute, and which is good, but it also means that my nervous system was just going crazy, and I was like, I can't keep this up forever. I need some sort of something to cut through the noise and to know where to start. It was really, yeah, the brain space thing and knowing where to focus.
What was the first right step? Because there's so many possible
Oh,
steps and
I
you've got to take the first one first.
couldn't do anything from that state of, I was excited, felt good, like possibilities. But it was like I was too excited. Like it sneaked to me. It was like, calm down a little bit. Yep, it's all, there's so many possibilities and you're going to do some really cool things, but let's just do the thing for today. And then let's do the thing for tomorrow and don't start planning your life in 5 years' time.
Yeah. And start trying to do the actions for 5 years' time from now. We say to people, like, you can't compare your chapter 13 with someone's chapter 130. It's going to mess you up big time. I do think when you have got a brain that goes really, really fast, having some frameworks to be able to make decisions from a less charged place. You talk about being excited and you can't wait to get started. Just because that's a really positive emotion, something that's good, doesn't mean we make great decisions from that place any more than we'd make it from stressed and frustrated and, oh God, I need to feed the family energy. That really highly charged emotion often results in not quite the outcome we were looking for.
And I've been through both of those.
Of all the like frameworks and strategies, and it might even just be a conversation that we've had on the journey inside the Done by Three Club, you've come to retreat now. What do you think's helped the most?
I think the frank conversations. We go, listen here, you said you wanted this. Do you want this or not? Because that's what you got to do. Sometimes I know the answer, but somebody's got to be like, hey, do you want that or not? Because if you already know the answer, do the thing, then you know who's going to get you to the thing. And also just helping to identify what's stopping you from getting there, because sometimes I can't identify that. And I know what the right next thing is, something stopping me for some reason, and just getting to the bottom of that is. I remember I reached out to you in the community and said, help me. I probably 10, the number 10 on that scale. I want to give up.
Yeah.
And I go through this, I come back here every 3 months and think, oh, should I give up and just go back to a job? And just the validation that I received from that was really nice. And you're like, maybe you should be coaching me because I have this once a month, this more regularly. The validation and just a little pep talk when you're feeling like everything's imploding and should I just give up? I just need somebody to be there and be like, it's fine. Like,
Yeah.
and we all feel this way sometimes, and yeah, it's gonna be shit, and there's going to be times when you go through that, and just to remind me and just to put me back in the place that it's fine, just chill out and you'll feel better tomorrow or next week, because there's not always action that needs to happen there. Somebody else to talk to, because it's lonely.
I think the reason why I said I think you should be coaching me, I think the further along the journey you get, the more you think, why don't I have this figured out? I've got 20 years of doing this stuff.
Yeah.
And I still don't have it. And so for me, it's about sharing that and being, I've been doing this a long time. I've made lots of mistakes. I've learned lots of things. And I still have days where I think, I messaged my husband the other day. I said, I'm going to quit and be a housewife. And all I got back was crying laughter faces. And please don't. Wow. It feels like I should keep going.
Was he saying that you wouldn't be good at it?
Yes, 100%. My dishes find their way to the vicinity of the dishwasher, not in the dishwasher, I'm sure.
Don't do that to us, to your family.
Don't do that to your family. It would be traumatic for everyone. Certainly for me in my early days, and I was young and arrogant and ignorant back then. I worried less about whether it would work out or not. And I think some of that was just, I didn't know. I didn't know what the things were that could go wrong. Got far more insight to that now.
Yeah.
There are many, many things that have happened on my business journey that were not in my wildest dreams or nightmares that I think would come along this journey. So much of whether someone's successful in this ability to integrate business and parenting and partnership just comes down to their, we talk about it as Moxie in our world, is like that grit, that resilience, the get up and go just to keep going, where the average person would have stopped because there's no talent in it. We weren't born into business. We've learned this along the way. And sometimes it's just that stubbornness of not going to beat me. I'm just getting up and I'm keeping going, and knowing that that's all it took, and that all of us have got that in us, an element of stubbornness. And I think that the knowledge that we can do hard things, and for me, I get the benefit of working with mums, and so the fact that you have birthed children into this world tell me that you can do literally one of the hardest things on the planet. And so I know that everything else is easy. You grew a whole human, the rest of it's easy.
It's crazy that I can do that and then still think that I'm not capable of these other big things.
You create whole human life. To think that someone saying no to you might break you after you created a whole human, freaking, I'm basically magic.
But
Like,
I forget,
oh,
and that it's okay. It's all about cliche, but how you keep getting back up, and also that it's okay to lay low for a little while and just chill out and breathe and not do anything.
you definitely need those people that kind of like pick you back up and dust you off and be like, you've done more than this before. You'll be okay. Just breathe. Go and eat a chocolate bar and have a lie down and a cry. And then after a nap, we'll get going again.
Just need those reminders.
I love it that I've helped it sometimes, but there's going to be some moments when you want to throw a shoe at the screen. What's a belief that I've challenged you on this journey that you really hated at first, but now you tell other women about?
Let's work on the one thing instead of all of the things. I absolutely hated that. And I was like, yeah, but what if I just work away at this like just a little bit? That was over a year ago now. I think a more recent thing that I still hate is that around like sales, and that sales is good and sales is necessary and sales are not that scary, and regular consistent action. Oh, that's a good one. Regular consistent action beats big concerted efforts, or going all in and going crazy on one day or one week. Just showing up and doing the thing regularly is.
Which cracks me up though, because we go back to the start of our conversation. How did you get better at drawing? Remind me again.
Just doing it.
It's a practice, and it's taking that inherent knowledge that you have about creativity and your artistry and just copy pasting it into the business part of your life, and recognizing that that's what it is. And so while you hate it, you already know it somewhere else. You just have not drawn the lines between the two different areas of your life yet. And when you do, it unlocks stuff for you. And that's the benefit I have of sitting this side of the screen talking to you versus being in your body. And just like you, I need someone to do the same thing, to go, but Sarah, you do it here. Can we not like bring it over here and use it here? We all need those people that can see our blind spots, that can see those connections before we can see them, because we're so in it emotionally and physically and energetically. We have to have those people to see it for us.
I hate them so much. Those
Yeah.
beliefs really do. I hate those conversations. Because I know it. I already know it.
There's been so many times you've come and you already know the answer, and you're just asking for permission to go at it. You're just asking for someone to go, yes, you are right, correct, go do it. We've got your back. And we forget how powerful that is, just to have someone back you up. Okay, Erika, go. I'm right here. I'll be here. You're going to fall over on the way, but I'm going to be here and I'll pick you back up and we'll keep going. That guide, that support it's not about them doing it for you. It's just about knowing that they're there and they believe that you can do it. Because sometimes you have to steal someone else's belief before you get your own.
I really like that.
Okay, Erika, here's my belief in you. Off you go. I'll have it back when you're done with it. It's great. It's been super cool to watch. Let's talk about some cash, some choices. What's changed for you in the time that we've been working together? And I guess the first one for you, I think, would be pricing and therefore earning. And now I think also how you pay yourself too.
Really valuing my time as a really precious commodity. And it's, yes, I could do this thing for you and I could over deliver, but is that how someone who runs business that's going to be around for a long time, is that how she shows up? No, she doesn't overstretch herself. Making that change around valuing my time and pricing accordingly. So if I'm going to go the extra mile for them, I will charge them for it. And if they don't want to pay for it, then I won't go the extra mile. That little shift that all makes sense logically, but when we get into the delivery mode and they're like, yeah, we'll pay you this much, I'm like, cool, yeah, it starts to really slip. So I think trying to, and just reminding myself to come back to that, valuing my time. And we talked previously about having a safety net. And I go through lots of seasonal fluctuations in my business where Christmas is like really good. I'm like taking all this money. And then I want to just hoard it all and keep it in the business for a rainy day. Meanwhile, I'm like, oh my God, we don't have enough money in my personal life to pay for this and that. And it's quite stressful over there. Meanwhile, I got 25K sitting in the business account, like acting like I'm super duper poor and just being like, okay, I'm gonna properly pay myself. It's still not where I want it to be, but let's pay myself a reasonable wage for what I'm doing instead of just stockpiling it, because that makes me feel a bit more spacious in my personal life. Because I was doing all this work and all the money was in the business, but I wasn't seeing it in my personal life. So I was still feeling like, oh my God, I'm struggling and it's really hard, but it wasn't. So once I started paying myself more money, I was like, okay, I feel like it's successful now. Like I feel a bit more calm and not like I'm struggling through. It was about paying myself properly and then also about ignoring that safety net. Like it's not about the safety net. It's not, I don't want that to have to be there to make me feel safe. It's about taking the consistent actions, whether I'm riding high and, well, I got so much money, or I'm like low and I'm like, oh, I'm running out of money, trying to get somewhere in the middle. That's okay. I'm on the way, I'm doing stuff, I'm safe, but I'm not finished yet. So I didn't want to be complacent, but I didn't want to be like acting from a place of scarcity. So coming in that middle zone. And yeah, it wasn't about the safety net at all. It was just about almost ignoring it, like not worrying about the safety net. And also just making sure that I paid myself properly as well.
Yeah, because you wouldn't work for free for anybody else's business, but for some reason we do it in our own businesses all the time. So now, does it ever feel like you have to choose between making money and being a mum?
No, I think if last year was about like, oh, can I do it? Can I make a reasonable wage doing drawing on windows, running cross sessions? Yes, I can. And just, I know that I can do it now. And I still want to get to the next level in terms of what I am making, but I know that I can do almost all of the school pickups. Of course, have some weekends where I work, but I know that I've been through a year where I've earned enough money, quite a decent amount of money, and was also able to be there for 80 to 90% of the school pickups and drop offs. This last year has felt more valuable than any year, maybe ever, that I can remember since having children. And it's crazy that I can do that and still earn money. I didn't think that was possible, that you would have to give up something in order to get that.
Love it. You don't have to sacrifice. You just have to build around it, right?
Yeah,
That's
it's
the
little
difference.
sacrifices, of course, and
Always.
I want to work really Saturdays ever, but I do sometimes.
Mm. Me too.
Yeah.
20 years in, there are still some days where Scarlett and Johnny were going snorkeling with sharks for a day on a Sunday. And I'm like, oh, I've got a whole day to myself. I'm going to work on my business. I really enjoy it. I think that's the other thing, is that we've both built businesses that we love, that we really enjoy, we get a lot of pleasure out of. And so if we didn't have partners and children, we'd probably do this a lot more, because that would be the thing that would fill our life up. It's just we chose to have a partner and children as well. And so we need to make sure we've got alignment across all of them. And so I don't think you can't ever work on a Saturday. It's knowing that when you do, it's a deliberate choice and you still enjoy it. That's the key for me. What's the favorite way, therefore, that your business has changed your family's life? Big or small?
Yeah. My daughter started school last year. That was good timing. But I could be there, and I watched other people have to pick up their children at 3 o'clock and be like, come on, let's go. Let's go home. I got 2 more hours worth of work to do because they work until 5 o'clock. And I'm like, oh, sit here and let Cadence play on the monkey bars for another 45 minutes. Honestly, that is wild. That is crazy that I can do that, and that I've got that more space, and it's crazy. Like sometimes I feel like, well, I'm really busy. Obviously, Christmas season, I do a lot there, but that allows me these other mini moments, just regular school pickup moments. I can take an extra hour, 2 hours, doesn't matter, just a bit more space, and that's pretty crazy. Crazy.
I could go home and work for 2 hours, or we could have 45 minutes on the monkey bars in the sunshine when Melbourne is sunny.
Get an ice cream and
I love having children. The excuses of things that we can do that as adults, like, it doesn't feel like you're allowed to do. Like Scarlett and I went for an ice cream sundae the other day, and I was like, oh, it's so good. It's so fun to have ice cream, but it's not something I would go and do without her, probably. I should. What's something you wish more mums in business, more women in business would say out loud?
Just stopping glorifying the constant grind. I think a lot of the information out there is around males and how they run businesses, which is go and they have the same hormonal cycle every day, whereas we work in seasons. I follow a lot of people who are entrepreneurs, and no one seems to say it quite like you do, which is about it's not all hustle, and you'll have seasons, and sometimes you'll be going hard, but then other times you'll be resting, and other times you'll still be going, but you'll be going much slower. And so just not comparing yourself to the people who are going every day, that's not what we can do, and that's not the way we work best as well. Working with your cycle, working with your body, and not even the physical cycle, but just the seasons of our life, that sometimes we're more chasing things and sometimes we're more, as you said before, like consolidating and just chilling out and just going and doing the things, and we're not doing a million things, but we're just doing 2 things instead of 10. I think more of that lifestyle in the seasons and the cycles. Yeah.
Because we don't just have our cycles and our seasons, we have our children's seasons.
Yeah.
And if you have girls like I do, like their cycles, and, there's all these factors that as the mum and the family that you carry, they all have to be taken into consideration, and knowing that small consistent action over time will be enough regardless of the season and the capacity that you're having to give to each part of your lives. I look back at 25-year-old Sarah and wish someone had said, you have this cycle every 28 days and there's a week when you're like 120% and there's a week when you're 70% and you should maybe play with that.
20% is great.
But that was my base. I used to compare myself to that as the baseline and then wonder why I felt like I was failing, because I was measuring myself against Superwoman week and not against Couch Potato week. And I'm allowed to have both of those weeks. So much of what we talk about is just stuff I wish someone had shared with me at the start of my journey. It would have made things drastically different. So I love that. Yeah, definitely, for the seasons, for the chapters, for the ages and stages of our kids and our relationships. I think that's so key. And if your past self saw you now, what would she be delighted by, surprised by?
That I'm still here running a business and that I'm taking it seriously. And she's a serious businesswoman and she's given it a good go and not being too scared to try.
She's making it seriously fun though as well, because she's doing the creative, playful stuff along the way.
Businesswoman, serious about playing.
What's been your most, I can't believe this is my life now moment? Like, have you had a moment where you've been, oh my God, I did that thing?
Like, absolutely just drawing on windows and making a lot of money doing it. Getting paid $1,500 a day. I reckon I worked from 9:30 to 2 o'clock and made $1,500 by drawing on windows, and it was fun and it was easy. And this is the best. I don't know how I set it up this perfect day. I was smashing it out and it just felt good. And I was like, oh my God, doing it all. I'm making a ton of money. Yeah, just drawing. It's stupid. I think about it like that is crazy.
Someone pays me to do this. I love doing this, and now someone pays me to do it. It's a pretty cool moment. And I'm still able to go and be present parent and a present partner at either end of my day.
It's not like I slogged it and worked 7 till 5. Yeah.
Or doing something that you hated, because there's lots of ways to make money that would make you and the sort of person that you are and the being that you are miserable. The fact that you can make good money, like really good money, doing things that light you up, that just shows up in every part of your life for sure.
It's crazy. Unbelievable. Did not think it was possible.
I knew it. I saw it, Erika. We were having the conversation about you can be arrested for drawing on stuff or you can be paid millions. We were talking about like the graffiti artists who get arrested for tagging things, right through to Banksy, who millions and millions for drawing on walls. You're somewhere in between those two. No one's arresting you at the moment for your drawings. And we're not at millions yet, but we're somewhere in the middle and we're on a journey, which is fun.
I did get stopped by the police.
And
I was in a bit of a sketchy area. They said, have you been sanctioned to do that?
Really? They looked at you and went, she's tagging on that wall, we should stop her.
With koala bears with Christmas hats on.
Yeah. What went through their minds that made them go, this is what someone's going to do when they...
I don't know.
Other than the fact that mum got stopped by the police for drawing koalas on a wall. What do you hope your kids remember about this season of your life?
So we played and we had fun and it was cool and it was different and mum was happy and playful. Mum was happy and fulfilled and doing something she loved.
That's possible for you in your life too. If they can see mum doing that, they know that that's absolutely true for them too.
Yes.
For the mum listening who's running her own business and is feeling a bit stuck and a bit tired, maybe stretched thin, or maybe just like you going, I'm pretty sure there's a better way than what I'm currently doing, what would you whisper in her ear if you could?
Number one is to get someone in your corner. And then the second thing is just start with something, anything, the momentum and the belief and all the rest and all the motivation comes after you start doing something. and just take one little action and just start. Action begets action. As soon as you start, everything else becomes way easier. And you think, oh, I did that thing, I can do the next thing. You know, you just got to start somewhere, and no amount of thinking about it, like no amount of journaling will get you to the place where you're ready to start. You just got to start.
Truth. If only there was a right time. If someone could come and like just put a star around the date on my calendar when it was the right time to do something, anything, I mean, that would be so helpful, but it just doesn't exist, does it?
And I totally get it, because while you're not doing things, you're safe, and it's scary to try. So I totally get it. And I was like that for a long time, but you'll just find it so much easier if you just take one little thing, start anywhere. It doesn't matter what it is, just start.
Yeah, absolute truth. What's one thing this mum could do this week that gets her closer to where you are now?
I think it starts with asking yourself what you want and getting used to asking yourself that question, because you cannot work towards a life that you want if you don't know what you want. I think it's a starting point. The more you practice asking yourself what you want, the more answers you'll get.
Knowing what you want so that you can actually move towards it makes the rest of it so easy. Erika, this has been so good. There's so much gold in this. And so anyone who's listening or watching and wants to follow along with your journey, where should they go? Where should they go and check you out? And maybe if they're in Melbourne and they need some window drawings, where can they go and find out about it?
So you can find me. My business is called Erika and Her Craft. So you can easily Google that and find me, but it's all my tags as well at Erika and Her Craft. And it's Erika with a K and Craft with a K as well.
Beautiful. We will pop Erika's Instagram in the show notes for you so that you can follow along on her journey. Maybe we'll see her have a chat with the cops about why she's drawing koalas with Christmas hats on the wall. And is she sanctioned? Are you sanctioned to do that? What a question. I love it. I love it. Thanks so much, Erika. For the rest of you, till next time, stay Moxie.